Ladies and gentlemen, before we bow our heads, before we speak the words that rise from our hearts, we must pause. Too often we rush into prayer like a hurried conversation, forgetting the sanctity and depth it deserves. Today, I urge you to stop beginning to pray without doing this. First, prepare yourself. Preparing your heart through reflection is an essential step before engaging in prayer because it ensures that you approach this sacred act with sincerity and purpose. In our hurried lives, it's easy to dive into prayer out of habit or urgency without taking the time to assess where our hearts and minds truly stand. This often leads to a disconnect, turning what should be a profound moment of connection into a mechanical routine. To truly engage in prayer, the heart must be free from the clutter of distractions, unresolved emotions, and unexamined intentions. Reflection allows you to take a moment to center yourself, to acknowledge your current state, and to intentionally prepare for the sacred act you are about to undertake. Reflection begins by taking inventory of your thoughts and feelings. Are you anxious, frustrated, or carrying the weight of unresolved issues? Are your thoughts scattered across the many demands of life? Acknowledging these emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. Instead, it means bringing them to light so they can be released or offered up in prayer. This process of self-examination isn't about perfection, it's about honesty. When you reflect on your inner state, you recognize the parts of yourself that may need healing, clarity, or guidance. Only by identifying these areas can you approach prayer with authenticity. Preparing your heart also means addressing the distractions that pull your focus away. The mind is often busy with the chatter of daily life, worries about the future, regrets from the past, or the constant stream of responsibilities and tasks. These distractions, if left unchecked, can dilute the depth of your prayer. Reflection acts as a reset button, quieting the noise within and creating space for a genuine connection. By intentionally pausing to reflect, you are essentially clearing the path for your words and intentions to flow freely. Another key aspect of preparation is humility. Prayer is not just about speaking, it's about listening, opening yourself to insight, wisdom, and transformation. Humility begins with acknowledging that you don't have all the answers and that you are coming to prayer not as someone who is in control, but as someone who seeks guidance, comfort, and connection. Reflection helps cultivate this humility by reminding you of your limitations and your need for something greater than yourself. It strips away any pretense or self-righteousness, leaving you in a state of openness and receptivity. Reflection also serves as a reminder to align your intentions. Why are you praying? Is it out of habit, obligation, or desperation? Or is it because you genuinely desire a deeper connection, understanding, or resolution? Reflection helps you sift through these motivations, ensuring that your prayer is not just a litany of requests but a meaningful conversation. When you take the time to reflect on your intentions, you ensure that they come from a place of purpose rather than impulse. Preparing your heart through reflection fosters gratitude. In the quiet moments of self-examination, you may become aware of blessings you had overlooked: the warmth of a loved one's presence, the beauty of nature, or even the strength you found in adversity. Gratitude shifts your perspective, helping you approach prayer not just with a sense of need, but with a recognition of abundance. This mindset enriches your prayer, making it more balanced and heartfelt. Finally, reflection creates a space for vulnerability. It invites you to bring your whole self, flaws, fears, hopes, and strengths into prayer. It reminds you that you don't need to have everything figured out or resolved before you pray. Instead, you bring the raw, unfiltered truth of your experience and lay it down with trust and sincerity. This act of vulnerability deepens the connection and makes your prayer a moment of transformation. Embracing gratitude before asking in prayer is a profound way to deepen the experience and shift the focus from mere requests to a recognition of blessings. Gratitude serves as a foundation that transforms prayer into an act of reverence and connection rather than simply a transaction of needs and wants. It reframes the way we approach prayer, reminding us of the abundance already present in our lives and preparing our hearts to receive with humility and grace. Beginning with gratitude cultivates a mindset of appreciation, aligning our spirits with a sense of awe and wonder for the good that exists in our lives, no matter the circumstances. When you pause to give thanks before asking, you allow yourself to step back from the urgency of your needs and take stock of what you already have. This shift in focus changes the tone of your prayer from one of desperation or demand to one of acknowledgement and reverence. It's a moment to recognize the small and large blessings that might otherwise go unnoticed, the simple joys of life, the strength to endure challenges, or the opportunities for growth that adversity has provided. Gratitude grounds you in the present and shifts your awareness from what is lacking to what is abundant, creating a sense of balance and peace within your heart. Gratitude also acts as a powerful reminder of perspective. In life, it's easy to become consumed by the things we wish to change, fix, or achieve. The human tendency is to focus on what's missing or what we don't have, which can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction and frustration. But when you intentionally begin with gratitude, you challenge this mindset and choose to see the bigger picture. You acknowledge that even in the midst of struggles, there are reasons to be thankful, whether it's for the support of loved ones, the lessons learned through hardships, or the simple beauty of another day. This perspective shifts your energy from lack to abundance, which in turn makes your prayers more centered and meaningful. Starting with gratitude also strengthens your relationship with the act of prayer itself. When you express thankfulness for the blessings in your life, you cultivate trust and deepen your sense of connection. It reminds you that you are already supported and cared for in ways that might not always be immediately visible. Gratitude fosters a sense of trust in the process of life, allowing you to approach prayer with greater faith and less fear. This trust becomes a foundation that steadies you, even when life feels uncertain or overwhelming. Gratitude has the power to transform the way you ask. When you begin with thankfulness, your requests are framed in a context of appreciation rather than entitlement. You are more likely to ask with humility and sincerity, rather than from a place of frustration or impatience. Gratitude softens your heart, enabling you to approach your requests with an understanding that blessings are not owed but are gifts. This shift in mindset not only enriches your prayer, but also fosters a deeper sense of contentment and peace within you. Gratitude also prepares your heart to receive. When you start with thankfulness, you acknowledge that life's blessings often come in unexpected ways and that not every prayer is answered in the way you might anticipate. This openness allows you to receive with grace, recognizing that even unanswered prayers or difficult circumstances can carry hidden blessings. Gratitude keeps your heart receptive, reminding you that the act of prayer is not just about asking and receiving, but about aligning yourself with a greater sense of purpose and understanding. Beginning with gratitude transforms prayer into a dialogue of appreciation and humility. It reminds you of the abundance that already exists in your life, shifts your focus from lack to fulfillment, and prepares your heart to ask with sincerity and receive with grace. Gratitude enriches the act of prayer, making it a moment of profound connection and reflection. Seeking forgiveness and reconciliation before prayer is essential because it clears the path for a meaningful connection and removes the barriers that can obstruct the sincerity of your intentions. Holding on to resentment, guilt, or unresolved conflicts creates a heaviness within the heart that makes it difficult to approach prayer with clarity and openness. Prayer is a sacred dialogue, and like any genuine communication, it requires a foundation of honesty and peace. When you seek forgiveness, both from others and for yourself, you unburden your spirit from the weight of past wrongs and create a space where humility and sincerity can flourish. Forgiveness begins with acknowledging your own shortcomings and mistakes. None of us are without fault, and the act of seeking forgiveness is a powerful reminder of our shared humanity. When you approach prayer after reflecting on your own actions, you do so with a sense of humility that enriches the authenticity of the experience. This self-awareness helps you avoid approaching prayer with a hardened heart or a mindset of entitlement. It's a moment of accountability, where you take ownership of your actions and genuinely seek to make amends, whether through your intentions, words, or deeds. This act of humility prepares your heart for a deeper connection by aligning your spirit with truth and integrity. Reconciliation is equally important because unresolved conflicts create emotional and spiritual divides. When you harbor anger, resentment, or grudges, it not only affects your relationships but also clouds your inner peace. These emotions act as barriers that prevent you from fully engaging in the sacred act of prayer. By choosing reconciliation, you make a conscious decision to prioritize peace over pride and healing over division. This doesn't mean every conflict will be immediately resolved, but the willingness to forgive and seek understanding sets you free from the emotional chains that can weigh you down. It is this freedom that allows you to approach prayer with a heart that is open and unburdened. Seeking forgiveness also requires extending forgiveness to others. This act of releasing resentment is not only liberating for those you forgive, but also profoundly healing for yourself. Carrying bitterness is like holding onto a poison that slowly seeps into your spirit, affecting your ability to find peace and clarity. Forgiving others doesn't mean excusing their actions or forgetting the hurt. It means choosing not to let that hurt define you or your interactions with the world. When you forgive, you reclaim your emotional and spiritual power, allowing you to enter prayer with a heart that is free from anger and negativity. Reconciliation, however, is not limited to others. It extends to reconciling with yourself. Many people carry guilt or shame for past mistakes, which can create a sense of unworthiness when approaching prayer. This self-condemnation becomes a barrier, making it difficult to connect authentically. Seeking forgiveness within yourself is an act of grace that reminds you that no one is beyond redemption. It allows you to release the burdens of the past and embrace the present moment with a renewed sense of purpose and acceptance. This self-reconciliation is crucial for entering prayer with a spirit that is whole and at peace. The act of seeking forgiveness and reconciliation also fosters a sense of humility and gratitude. When you acknowledge your own need for forgiveness and extend it to others, you become more aware of the grace that has been shown to you in your life. This awareness fills your heart with gratitude and deepens your sense of connection, making your prayers more heartfelt and genuine. It reminds you that forgiveness is not just a personal act but a universal principle that binds us all in our shared humanity. Seeking forgiveness and reconciliation before prayer transforms the act from a routine task into a sacred encounter. It prepares your heart by clearing the clutter of unresolved emotions, creating a space where sincerity and humility can thrive. It aligns your spirit with peace, ensuring that your prayers are not just words but a reflection of your deepest truths and aspirations. Finding stillness before prayer is an essential practice that allows you to transition from the chaos of daily life into a state of calm focus and intentionality. In a world filled with noise, distractions, and constant demands on your attention, it can be challenging to quiet the mind and create a meaningful connection. Stillness is not merely the absence of sound or movement, it is a deliberate pause, a moment of grounding that prepares your inner self to engage in the sacred act of prayer. This act of stillness creates space for clarity and presence, allowing you to approach prayer with a centered and open heart. Stillness begins with the intentional act of slowing down. Life often feels like a rush, where moments blur into one another and time for reflection becomes a luxury rather than a priority. By finding stillness, you disrupt that hurried pace and reclaim a moment of peace. This pause signals to your mind and body that you are shifting from external concerns to internal connection. It's a way of creating a boundary between the noise of the world and the sacred space within yourself, ensuring that your prayer is not simply an extension of the day's busyness, but a moment set apart. In stillness, you allow your thoughts to settle, like water in a stirred glass that becomes clear as it stands undisturbed. The mind is often a whirlwind of activity, filled with to-do lists, worries, and the remnants of conversations or experiences. Without stillness, these thoughts can invade your prayer, making it difficult to focus or to truly connect with the intentions of your heart. Stillness acts as a filter, allowing the unnecessary distractions to fade and the essence of your thoughts to come forward. It is in this clarity that you can recognize what you genuinely need to bring to prayer, whether it's gratitude, a request for guidance, or a moment of surrender. Stillness also fosters awareness. When you are constantly moving or engaging with the world around you, it's easy to overlook the subtler aspects of your inner state. In stillness, you become more attuned to your emotions, your breathing, and even the tension in your body. This awareness helps you identify what might be weighing on your spirit or distracting you from fully engaging in prayer. It creates an opportunity for you to address these things, either by letting them go or by bringing them into your prayer with intention. The act of finding stillness is also an act of trust. It requires letting go of the urgency to act or fix things and instead surrendering to the present moment. This surrender is not passive but deeply active, as it involves choosing to prioritize connection over control. Stillness reminds you that prayer is not about striving or achieving but about being present. It's a moment to release the illusion that everything depends on your effort, and to embrace the idea that there is strength in quietness and receptivity. Stillness has a grounding effect that enhances your ability to engage in prayer with a sense of stability and focus. When you are still, you create a space where distractions no longer have power over your attention. This grounding allows you to pray from a place of authenticity, free from the scattered energy of a restless mind. It ensures that your prayer is not just an automatic recitation, but a meaningful dialogue that comes from the depths of your being. In addition to grounding, stillness fosters a sense of peace. It allows you to step away from the anxieties and pressures of life, even if only for a moment, and find refuge in the quiet. This peace is not merely the absence of struggle, but a deep sense of assurance that you carry into your prayer. It creates an environment where your heart feels safe to open, where you can express your innermost thoughts without fear or hesitation. Finding stillness before prayer is an act of preparation that transforms the experience. It allows you to transition from the external to the internal, from noise to clarity, and from restlessness to peace. It is in this stillness that you create a sacred space within yourself, ready to engage in prayer with focus, presence, and an open heart. Listening in silence after prayer is a vital practice that completes the cycle of connection and opens the door to deeper understanding, guidance, and peace. Prayer is often thought of as a time to express, to ask, to thank, and to seek, but it is equally important to listen. In silence, you give space for the answers, insights, and reflections that may arise, allowing the communication to flow both ways. This practice shifts prayer from being solely an act of speaking to a dynamic exchange, one that invites wisdom and clarity into your life. The moments after prayer are a sacred time when the heart and mind are still attuned to the intention and energy of the prayer itself. In the act of speaking, you release your thoughts, concerns, and hopes, and in the act of listening, you open yourself to receive. This reception is not always about clear answers or dramatic revelations, but about cultivating a sense of awareness. Silence creates the opportunity for subtle messages to emerge through feelings, ideas, or even a deepened sense of peace. These moments of quiet listening are where reflection takes root and where the essence of the prayer begins to settle within you. Listening in silence fosters patience and humility. It is an acknowledgement that you may not have all the answers or understand everything in the moment. Often people approach prayer with the expectation of immediate clarity or resolution, but the practice of listening teaches that understanding comes in its own time and way. In silence, you let go of the urgency to control the outcome, allowing space for things to unfold naturally. This act of surrender cultivates trust and patience, reminding you that the answers you seek may come not as a direct response, but as a gradual unfolding in your life. Silence after prayer also deepens your connection to your inner self. When you take the time to listen, you become more attuned to your own thoughts, feelings, and intuitions. It's a moment to reflect on the words you've spoken in prayer and the intentions you've set, to consider how they align with your deepest values and desires. This self-awareness is crucial for growth and alignment, as it helps you discern the motivations behind your prayers and the actions you may need to take in response. In this way, listening becomes not just an act of receiving but a step toward transformation. Listening in silence enhances your sensitivity to the world around you. When you cultivate the habit of quiet listening, it extends beyond the moments after prayer and into your daily life. You become more aware of the subtle cues and synchronicities that may guide you, the opportunities and challenges that resonate with the intentions you've set. This heightened awareness allows you to see how the guidance you seek in prayer often manifests through experiences, relationships, and moments of insight. Silence, therefore, becomes a bridge between the sacred act of prayer and the practical realities of your life. The act of listening also nurtures peace and assurance. In silence, you create a space where worry and doubt can dissipate, replaced by a sense of calm and trust. Even if the answers or resolutions are not immediately clear, the very act of listening affirms your willingness to be present and open. This openness brings a sense of completeness to prayer, reminding you that it is not solely about seeking but also about receiving and being. Silence becomes a sanctuary where you can rest in the knowledge that you have done your part and that the rest is unfolding as it should. Listening after prayer requires discipline and intentionality. It is easy to rush back into the demands of life or to let the mind wander into concerns and distractions. However, by prioritizing this practice, you create a habit of mindfulness that strengthens your spiritual and emotional resilience. Over time, this habit becomes a source of strength, offering you clarity and guidance even in moments of uncertainty. Listening in silence is a practice that deepens your faith, sharpens your awareness, and grounds you in the assurance that you are never alone. It is an act of reverence and trust that completes the sacred exchange of prayer, turning it into a profound journey of connection and growth. Prayer is more than words spoken in a moment of need. It is a sacred dialogue, a bridge between your innermost being and the divine essence guiding your life. It is not just about asking, but about preparing, reflecting, and being open to the transformation it brings. By seeking forgiveness and reconciliation, you clear the path for a deeper connection. By finding stillness, you quiet the distractions that separate you from true intention. Through silence, both before and after prayer, you make room to listen, to grow, and to receive wisdom and clarity. Each of these steps is an invitation to align your heart, mind, and soul with purpose and humility. They transform prayer into a profound experience of connection, grounding, and renewal. They remind you that prayer is not just an act but a way of being, one that opens your spirit to peace, guidance, and strength in all areas of life. As you carry this understanding into your daily life, may your prayers be filled with sincerity and your heart with peace. May you find clarity in moments of stillness, and may you always trust that the guidance you seek is already unfolding. Good luck on this journey of deeper connection and transformation. May your days be filled with grace and purpose, and may you always walk forward with a spirit renewed by the power of prayer. Thank you for opening your heart to this message, and may your life be richly blessed.